The title I put on this video is not clickbait. You can actually mitigate your gun recoil with its gun manager feature in its software. But hear me out first, please. This could get you banned, so use it with caution and use it responsibly. And by responsibly, I mean do your utmost best to not use this for online games. But of course, that is your choice. So with a screen that also acts as a customizable button, the features on the Rakk TANAW exceeds that of the mice in the market. This is actually the first adopter of a screen on top of a mouse that I know so far, where connectivity, battery levels, and DPI is shown. So no more guessing its battery life. Not only that, the screen will also show your gun macro if it's enabled or disabled. This gun macro is what I was talking about in the intro of this video, where countering recoil is made possible. So this is a light 55-gram mouse with a PAW 3395 sensor, a tri-mode connectivity, and includes a charging dock in its box. This can connect up to 3 devices simultaneously and wirelessly via its dongle, and 2 devices via Bluetooth. Actually, that's 4 total if you add in wired mode. This is widely compared to other mice in the market, yet upon speaking to Rakk's product developer, this has its own unique shape, unlike others in the market. I have here an OEM or copy of the Attack Shark X6, and I can confirm that this is not just an OEM mouse slapped with Rakk's brand. I'll go over this in more detail in the grip and shape section of this video. In terms of sensor, you're not going to need anything more given it's got a 3395 with up to 26,000 dpi, 1000 Hz polling rate, 650 IPS tracking speed, and 50 gram acceleration. Now, you might want a 4000 Hz polling rate, but I think that's overkill, especially that 8000. That's just going to burn your CPU. Anyways, this has a 6-step customizable DPI setting via its software and by default can be changed by pressing the screen. The software is the standard looking software with reconfigurable profiles, DPI stages, polling rate, LOD height, and debounce time. The software recognizes the device even on Bluetooth mode, so beat that. This also includes other features such as ripple control, angle snap, and motion sync, which we will go over in more detail in the software segment of this video. I calculated its battery usage and used up to around 5% in about 3 hours of use, so the whole battery would approximately last 60 hours give or take. And this is actually what is advertised in its box. Quick tip, when you're not using the mouse, leave it to recharge on its dock, so this way you never run out of juice. This is offered in 2 color options, white and black, safe options, so all units would match most PC builds. Moving on, let's go over its software in more detail. Taking a closer look at its macro recording capabilities, you're free to set a standard amount of delay while recording or record the amount of delay you actually have throughout the recording. You could also opt for minimum delay. You're free to manually change delays though if you have any issues with timing. Now this has ripple control and angle snapping, which I don't use, but some high DPI users might benefit from this for a more stable, less jittery cursor, yet this might F up your micro movements. Now for motion sync, there's a group of gamers who swear their aim is better and another group that says their aim feels off. I keep mine off, but you should try this if it makes you a better shooter or not. Now for mitigating recoil, open up the gun manager, and I myself have not mastered how to set this up, but looking at this simple setting I made, I mitigated the recoil of my AK-74 in Fallout 4. I'm unsure what the delay is for, as after many tests I've made, I just couldn't figure out that piece. As for the numbers on the X and Y axes, these denote the millimeters of movement you make on your mouse. I do not have a solid tutorial on how to set this up, so I will have to leave it on you to figure things out yourself. After setting your macros and keybinds up, by the way, you don't need the software turned on for your macros and keybinds and other settings to work. Also, even after you restart the mouse, switch devices, or switch connectivity, your settings are still saved on the mouse. All thanks to its installed CPU with a built-in memory to save your settings even without the software installed. Now, enough about the software, let's go over its hardware. Upon unboxing the unit, aside from the mouse, the dock, and documentation, you get other accessories such as a custom-cut grip tape, extra PTFE feet, and paracord cable. I highly appreciate the addition of grips, and I hope Rakk stays consistent with the value they provide versus the competition. Then as for the charging dock, this looks like the regular charging docks on the other mice with a sticker underneath. Yet the polarity here may cause this dock to reject other mice. I originally have 1 dock on my table and 2 other dock compatible mice that I use in rotation. Unfortunately, I can't add the TANAW in the rotation due to the magnet compatibility with other docks from other mice. As for charging ports on the mouse, its magnet is strong for a firmer placement on its dock. The dock, by the way, has RGB, which can be switched to 11 different modes and turned off by long pressing the dock's touchpad. This is built really well, by the way. It's not lightweight, it's not plasticky, and definitely does not feel cheap. Onto the mouse, it's got a full ABS build, standard to mice. Shell is matte black, smooth, and would eventually have shines on it, especially when used by sweaty hands. Just add grip tapes to the mouse and you're all good. So feet are standard and have curved edges so as to not scratch on the pads. Upon the first hours of use, I noticed some scratching from the middle part of the mouse's feet, which will eventually fade away after some hours of breaking it in. You could also remove that middle skate, but I wouldn't totally recommend it. The toggle switch underneath does not wobble and has really good tactility. Switch up for 2.4G or switch down for Bluetooth. As for buttons, clickers have very low pre-travel thanks to the Huano blue shell pink dot switch. Side buttons have mild pre-travel and I wish it had more tactility for more feedback when pressing the button, but this is just a preference of mine and doesn't apply to all users. Scroll wheel has TTC silvers on it, and unlike its brother the TTC gold, silvers are not known to have any issues with scrolling. Got questions? Comment down below. I might have forgotten something. Now onto the grip. At first try, I immediately noticed its grooved clickers, similar to the Viper. I personally like grooves as they help me position my fingers better. Sides also have grooves and are angled slightly for better grip. Now for your reference, the narrowest measurement for the sides is at 55 millimeters. The height of the palm rest is at 37 millimeters max. The total length of the mouse is 120 millimeters. As a claw-palm hybrid gripper, I tend to claw this mouse for better micro movements. I would palm this otherwise, and both grips work on this mouse, including fingertip. As for weight distribution, the top and bottom are perfectly balanced, unlike two of my other mice. Side buttons are positioned well, yet my short thumbs overextend a tad bit to reach the forward button. My hands are small, that's why. So some people over the web argue that this is an OEM of the Attack Shark X6. I have here the Ajaz AJ219, which is an actual copy of the X6, and I can confirm they are not the same in terms of shape and grip. Number 1, most apparent difference here is the screen. Number 2, there are deeper grooves on the clickers of TANAW. Number 3, the side button positions are different, so that's a little bit higher for the TANAW, while the X6 has a little bit lower side buttons and positioned a little bit more backwards. Number 4, so you have bigger skates on the TANAW, plus TANAW has middle skates. Number 5, weight distribution. So the TANAW is perfectly balanced, while the AJ219 or the Attack Shark X6 has more weight in the lower part of the mouse. Number 6, its overall shape and size. So the Rakk TANAW is much more narrower than that of the X6. If you have any specific questions regarding the difference of both, just let me know through the comment section below and I can answer them when I can. Overall, I like both mice, yet they have their pros and cons over each other, but the TANAW's shape is tailored for grip-sensitive users. The shape of the X6 might not work for some of you, especially palm grippers and fingertip grippers. For an ambidextrous mouse, Rakk made a lot of good decisions here. As for after-sales service, you get 1-year outright replacement and local customer service support. Plus, you may join the community of Rakk Gears users on Facebook. I will leave links in the description below, including Rakk's Facebook page. Like it and follow it for updates and announcement from Rakk themselves. Now, did I miss anything? Have you got any questions? Comment down below and see you next time. Don't forget to not subscribe.